Clubhouse chatter, good. What are we on a Sunday morning? It's rainy, but we are here and we are happening. Here's the one, the only. Oh no, it's just Norm. Here he is.
That's right.
Wow.
All right. Hey, thanks, Brian. Once again, I'm Norm. We have in-studio guest Nelson this morning.
Hi.
And so, man, at any given time, we could probably be busting up laughing.
I'm thinking within 6 minutes.
Nelson is one of the funniest around. And our first guest this morning is Greg Durfee with Uncle Frank's Helping Hands. And they send cancer kids to Major League Baseball games. It's a pretty cool deal.
Very awesome.
Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Norm. How are you guys?
Well, we're a little wet, blown away. It's been kind of a crazy day and a half of weather up here.
Very rainy and like a heavy windstorm going on like the past day and a half. My garbage cans are 3 doors down now, so I'm thinking it's their job to empty them.
Well, yeah, mine's on the next block, so at least yours is just 3 doors down. So Greg, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got connected with Uncle Frank's Helping Hands.
Well, in about 2010, a friend of mine, a pastor friend, asked me to go with him to pray for his nephew who was diagnosed with neuroblastoma. And we went and we prayed for Nicholas, and a couple weeks after that, we took him to an Angel game. And then a couple months after that, he had passed away, and it really kind of devastated my life. I ended up in a really deep depression, and I lost my job, an apartment, ended up homeless in Skid Row, L.A. for over a year and a half. And out of that came just a real desire to do what I can to help these families. And when we took Nicholas to the Angel game, at the time he was an intern there, and Tim Mead has grown into a very important position with the Angels now. So we've been able to take over 1,600 families to Major League ballparks since 2010. And, Uncle Frank's Helping Hand came on about after our first 2 years. I was working with a friend in Hollywood at a festival. And Uncle Frank is Jimmy Kimmel's uncle, who passed away a few years ago of cancer himself. And while I was working for them, my current boss, Ann Potenza, who's Uncle Frank's oldest daughter, the 3 daughters were starting their nonprofit, and she knew what I was doing, and she wanted to be able to help me get donations and being able to provide a receipt, a 501c3. So she came and approached me and said, Greg, how would you like to be an event for us? We can be kind of your covering as far as, tax-deductible receipts and everything. And it's been a fit. We've been together for over 8 years now, and even though I'm responsible for everything as far as, fundraising, getting the families, getting the tickets from the team and everything, we try to do it and plan ahead, because that's the smart thing with any event and with any nonprofit. But it always seems to be that, right around the end of the season, donations kind of die down, and then they start to pick up, right around spring training, maybe into the first month of the season now. So we have scheduled, we're going to St. Louis on the 24th of April. So we're going to be taking a group of 30 kids/families from the St. Louis area to a game. And then right now we're looking at probably Minnesota in May, middle of May. The Nationals have given us 90 tickets to their home, first home game after the All-Star break against the Braves. So we are working with another event company. We want to do a watch party. And I don't know, maybe you guys might be interested in joining us with that and maybe doing a show from we're not going to be at the All-Star game location, but we'll be off location, and we'll have probably anywhere from, 75, 100, maybe 150 kids, families just enjoying the day and then watching the All-Star game live on a big screen and, having some guests there. But right now, that's pretty much all we've planned for this year, just because our donations are significantly down now. But for every $1,000 we raise, we can do 5 stops a month. And what we do is we take those 5 stops and we put them close together within a 2.5 week period. and local enough to where the travel costs are way down. So we're really trying very hard to raise any minimum $5,000 on up by middle of May, so then we can start in June with our 5-stop.
Wow. So have you been in all 30 ballparks across the United States?
We've been to 28. The two we have not been to yet is Toronto and Detroit. Now, that's not all in one year. Last year was the biggest year we did. We did over 20 ballparks. We took 6,000 new kids and families to games, and a lot of those were new parks for us. But over the last 10 years, those are the only two ballparks we haven't gone to yet.
So we got connected through Jack Schumacher, who we've been working with a little bit here in Oregon. And for those of you who don't know, Jack is a 14-year-old West Salem young man who is it's not good. And,
he's in the fight of his life right now. What a brave young man.
And and absolutely. And so we did our first show with Jack, and then Greg contacted me and said, hey, let's try to get together and let's try to make things work. And, now with working with Jack and seeing a little bit, this is a pretty important deal now.
Well, and one of the things, too, and I know you've seen it with Jack and Tammy, it affects the whole family.
Absolutely.
And the siblings. And I was talking to a couple of our families that we've taken to games over the 4 or 5 years, and I asked one of the sisters of one of our kids, and I said, what do you like about what we do? And she said, you include the whole family.
Yeah.
And that really touched my heart. It's like there's something about, I think in my own life when, my parents were going through a rough period, my place to go is Angel Stadium. My place to, just get away from, going through the divorce and everything was, watching the Angels play and meeting Bobby Gritch and meeting Bob Boone and, just establishing a safe place to go where, I didn't have to think about, I had some time away. Jack is a tremendous young man. What he's fighting through and the cancer that he has is very one of the worst ones that a child could have.
Right.
7 kids a day die of childhood cancer, and it's the number one disease killer of our kids in the U.S. And we sit in the greatest country in the world, and I wonder often, when are we going to put our kids first, especially their health? And Major League Baseball, they do a lot through Stand Up to Cancer and, with adult cancers. But a lot of players and a lot of teams really focus and do a lot in September for childhood cancer because it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So, the more information we could put out, the more we can make, front page and really get people to understand, what's hitting our kids in this way. And health issues, is very important, and it's very important to families like Jack's and others.
Absolutely. And Tammy, she's got three other children. She's got 2 sons and then her daughter Rebecca, and absolutely it is hard on everybody, and not only the family, and talking with Nelson and Brian, it's hitting us pretty good because Jack is such a cool kid, and no kid should have to suffer through anybody shouldn't have to suffer through cancer, let alone kids.
Well, yeah, and his mom, like you said, his mom and the other kids, not only is this wonderful for Jack, the things he's getting to do, to see them go, and it's a great experience for them, but them seeing what this means to him and getting to experience it through that is just incredible. And I do not know where Tammy comes up with the strength.
Yeah. She's an amazing woman.
She is a phenomenal woman, and I so admire her strength. I haven't known her that long, but man, what an impressive woman.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's for a lot of them too that they, with doctor appointments and hospital visits and chemo and radiation and just scheduling and everything, to take a day and just make it a family day. And when we can with our budget, we like to take care of everything. We like to take care of the parking, the food, gas for the car to get there. If we have a little extra, we give it to them. We just want them to focus on enjoying, a family day at a ballpark. And sometimes we get on the field. Sometimes, with connections with teams and maybe a player, we'll get there, for batting practice. And, that takes it to a whole new level for a kid, as you guys saw with Jack in L.A. and stuff. We really don't want the family staff to worry about anything. And we realize that, this could be the only time that they're, at a ballpark together as a family. Some of the things that we were at a Baltimore game a couple years ago, and there were two families that actually were being treated for leukemia at different stages and going to the same hospital, but they didn't know each other. And when they got to the game and they realized, oh, you go to that? Oh, yeah. Then the parents hooked up, like that, because now they had common ground. There were one set of parents whose child was a little further in his diagnosis, talking to another family, another parent, a set of parents whose daughter just started. So they exchanged names. They were able to, meet up afterwards. And it's like stuff like that where I sit back and I'm just like, God's in control. He knows what he's doing, and he's bringing these families, closer to where at a ballpark where they didn't even know each other at the hospital. So, those are kind of things that kind of keep me going when it's a little rougher. But I applaud you guys for reaching out and being a part of the community now, because once you're in, you're in. Yeah. It's like, you find out more information and you're around these families so much that you draw strength and courage. And like you mentioned with Tammy, I mean, it's just like anytime I'm around a parent or even a child, I get stronger. I'm like, how can I complain about what I'm going through when these guys are just, unbelievable.
Well, let's get to what's really important. How can people find you? Let's get your info out there. So, sorry about that. Anybody who's hearing this who might be able to help the next kid get to a game, how can they find you and support you?
Well, our biggest component as far as donations is concerned, we get 85% of our donations on our GoFundMe page, and it's really simple link to remember. It's GoFundMe.com/Youth Cancer Baseball Tour, and then the number 18. That'll take you straight to our GoFundMe page, and you can donate on that page. Our website is youthcancerbaseballtour.org. That needs to be updated. We haven't updated it this year yet, but that goes over all our mission state.
We're being attacked by robots.
With the
your phone was cutting out for just a second. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So I'll go over the GoFundMe link again just in case it didn't get through. But GoFundMe.com/Youth Cancer Baseball Tour, and then the number 18.
Is that all one word with 18 and?
Yeah, okay. All one word with number 8 at the end for 2018. And that takes you straight. Now, anybody that wants to send a check and they want the full amount to come to us, because obviously GoFundMe takes out a little bit, if you email me, my email address is real easy. It's durfeegreg@yahoo.com. So that's all one word, DURF as in Frank, EEGREG @yahoo.com, and then I can send you the information where you can send a check.
Sweet.
Fantastic.
So here's what I'll do for you. So I'll get a hold of you again this week, and we'll go ahead and post all this info on our Clubhouse chatter page as well as my personal Facebook page, and we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can drum up some money and help some of these kids. And I'll tell you what, these guys are the true heroes. People look up to the Major League Baseball players as a hero, but our hero is Jack and all the other kids that are going through this. And for it's amazing to see Jack do his thing. Brian and I witnessed him get up out of his wheelchair and throw a strike at a first pitch at a Linfield game. And then the thing that sticks out the most to me was that when the team lined up for the national anthem, he stood for the national anthem. And I could go into a lot about people standing for the national anthem, but Jack had the courage to get up out of that chair, hurting as he is, and he stood. And I'll tell you what, that's something I think that's probably going to stick with me for a long time. And so these kids are courageous. Go ahead, Greg.
The courage that these kids have. I mean, they have more courage in their little pinky than I could ever think I have. It's just incredible. We do have a couple. Two come to mind right away that are in remission, and one of them is a sophomore high school pitcher for his team in the Philadelphia area, and another is playing down in Southern California his freshman year, and it's just the fight that they have, and it's just incredible. I admire them, I honor them, and anything I could do, and that's we want to grow, we want to get bigger, we want to be able to take care of rent, we want to be able to do more, but we're a little bit more than small right now, but hopefully, God willing, we'll be able to grow this thing and really be helpful for the families and have an impact in their life.
Well, Greg, if there's anything more that we can do, don't hesitate to ask, and especially help getting the word out, social media and whatever. We'll go ahead and help you out. And hey, thanks for coming on, and let's get some of these kids to games.
Greg, thank you for your help to these kids and their families and their dedication. That's so admirable. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. Thanks for inviting me. And really, Norm, think about coming out to the All-Star game with us and being part of that event.
You don't want to do that.
Hey, I do need to get to the Washington, D.C. area. I got a good buddy, Skylar Borman, from McMinnville. He's living out in the Washington, D.C. area, so I've been meaning to go back. And, yeah, that would be awesome.
Have an All-Star game hot dog. Woohoo!
That's right. Hey, Greg, thank you, and I will be in touch with you this week.
All right, guys. Have a great show. Talk to you soon.
All right. Greg. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Wow.
Echo off.
Echo? Go get us a pizza.
All right. Man, we've talked a lot about Jack, and I know he's touched our lives, and he's touched your life as well. You've been through this before.
Well, yeah, with my involvement in the past with the Children's Cancer Association, you just time and time again you meet these families who manage to come up with this strength and will to keep going. I don't know where it comes from. Yeah. It's incredible, but the things that Jack is going through and seeing his mom. And here's one of the things I found about this too. As tragic and as sad as this situation is, down the road, Tammy and her family, they're going to be excellent help and advocates for another family.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing I've seen time and time again. These families that go through this, they end up coming back to it again and saying, we know what you're going through more than anybody else, and they're always the biggest help.
As crappy as what they're going through now is like you said, down the road. God has a plan.
Yes, he does.
Whatever the plan is, there's a plan, and there's a reason that Jack is going through this, and it's unfortunate that he is going through it. But down the road, we don't know what that is at this point. But
at this point, too, to be able to, like with the things you guys are doing and like Greg is doing and so many others, to bring, his passion is baseball, to bring that kind of joy, it's awesome.
So we are planning another get-together at Baseballisms. I don't know, honestly, I don't know if it's going to happen because of the condition Jack is in now, but we're hoping that we'll be able to pull one off. And so if you're listening, watching, if you live in the Portland area involved with baseball, you're more than welcome. Be watching. And we got Nelly. We got Nelson on the air. For those of you in the Portland area.
I'm sorry. It's always good with me to start with an apology.
Portland, he has come home to McMinnville.
Yeah, we're in Amity, right outside of McMinnville.
Absolutely.
Lived in Amity for a year when we were kids.
Okay.
We moved when I was in 5th grade. I went to elementary school here in Amity. Oh. It was great. I love this area. I love coming back. So nostalgic, and I hated it so. Ooh, I keep hitting the microphone stand, and I hated it so much when I was a kid. But I just
So you came home. You did a Nelson tour of McMinnville yesterday.
Well, here's what happened. It was my mom's birthday, so my brothers and sisters and my brother's wife, we got together, had breakfast with my mom and Sherry's, and so we were just laughing and talking about all the stuff we did, and we lived, all over the place in McMinnville, and talking about some of the things we did. So I was inspired by that, so I did the tour of all the old houses I lived in McMinnville yesterday after we got done at Sherry's. I just kind of tooled around and drove past all the houses. I wanted to take pictures of them, but it's like, it's what I don't want to be out in somebody's house and you're taking a picture and they come out. Hey, what are you doing, weirdo? Also, could you open your curtains for me? Thank you. But yeah, it was great, just touring. And did I tell you about the confession I made to my mom yesterday? Oh, this is one of those things. It was one of those mornings. When I was a kid, there was a bicycle stolen in our neighborhood, and somehow I was a suspect. I don't know how that kind of thing would happen, but I full-on confessed to my mom yesterday. Hey, yeah, remember when that whole bicycle thing happened? Yeah, I did that. Because they tracked it down to me, and then my mom came to my friend's house looking for me. She says, something about a stolen bike, and I already had the parts on my bike. I don't know what you're talking about. So quick as a wink, I put it all back together. I go home, I hide the bike in the ditch near our house, went over to see my brother at one of his friend's house. Oh, this is enough time. And I walk by, and oh no, look, there's the stolen bike. What are the odds that I would find it? Oh. But I looked at my mom and I said, that whole bicycle fiasco, yeah, I stole that bike and I lied to you. It was horrible. I still remember the house. And here's the funny part. This will make it even funnier. When I saw the bike and was thinking about stealing it, I thought, I wonder if anybody's home. So you know what I did? I went up and knocked on the door to see if anybody was there. Oh! Somebody answered it. Oh, I have the wrong house. And then, genius that I am, I knocked on the door, made eye contact with the owner, and stole the bike anyway. So he came looking for me and tracked me down 2 blocks over on West 22nd Street, McMinnville.
Wow.
Right about a block off Baker Road. Used to be Bethel Baptist Church.
Yep.
And it's something else. Yeah, about 2 blocks over from there where I lived.
Oh, wow.
Thieving little brat.
So what are you doing these days? You're working on a podcast?
Yeah, there's a couple people I'm working with, a multimedia company. It's Kuko Media, digital marketing and all of that type of stuff. And one of the things under the umbrella of that, we're going to have a podcast, me and a gal named Melissa and a gal named Sarah. And, we're trying to do all of this right, build a database, get all of these things in place, and we are recording quite a few things. But yeah, we have a podcast, going to be good. It's called The Nelson Show, but the kind of like the tagline for the show is, so now what the hell do I do? Because all of us are in, all 3 of us, and so many people that I've talked to are in the same place. Mid-40s, mid-50s, maybe even late 50s. You're divorced now. Your kids have moved on. Your career has dried up. You're changing a job. You're trying to reinvent your life. Like me, I'm 57. I'm divorced now. My career in the industry that I've been is just dead. And I'm just kind of floating around going, what the hell do I do? I never thought at this point in my life I'd be trying to reinvent myself and keep going, do something new. And that's kind of where all 3 of us are. And that's kind of the encompassing theme of our podcast. But yeah, we're going to do all kinds of stuff too. So
sweet.
Yeah, go to my website or my Facebook page, Nelson Portland, or The Nelson Show. And very soon we're going to start putting podcast previews on there until we get our website up, get all of our other ducks in a row. And unfortunately, some of the ducks that need to be herded are not ducks that I know how to herd. So it's up to other people. So we're waiting. But we want to have everything right when we do launch. But nice. Very, very fun stuff. We've already got some fantastic stuff in the bank, and when we launch, it's going to be huge.
Oh, we can't wait.
We're going to make podcasting great again. No, I didn't say that.
we can't wait. Hey, so this is Nelson. I got Brian, Norm. Hey, we're going to come back at 9:45.
Brian, nobody can see you.
That's right. He's kind of off in the shadows there.
There's a reason for that.
So
You're
we're
a
coming
handsome
back.
fella.
Well, thanks, Nelson. I think.
I'd hug you, but there's a table atweenst us.
Thank you.
I don't know how you guys feel about that kind of stuff.
That's all right.
That's another podcast.
No,
Yeah, I'm a hugger.
I even touched your knee.
So, yep. So, hey, we're going to be back at 9:45 with the most interesting man in baseball, Lenny Randall, and I'll tell you what.
He's watching right now, so be
Is he
nice.
really?
Lenny,
Hi,
I'll tell you what, Lenny is a character. You're going to love him. He is 1 million miles an hour, and it's going to be fun.
If he's been involved in baseball for this long, I bet he knows where to get all the good wieners.
Absolutely.
Nothing like a wiener
And better
at a-
one, they're
at a
Italian.
baseball game.
So, hey, we are sponsored by baseballisms.com. If you like my shirt, if you like my hat, baseballism.com. Also,
Wait a minute, it's baseball, but it has camo on it.
It does.
Yes,
Yeah,
so you can
absolutely.
play baseball or hunt deer.
That's right. Also, Northwest Independent Baseball League. Look them up. Baseball, summertime. Baseballdudes.com. Chris Gazelle up there in Vancouver, Washington.
Woohoo!
Base by Pros. Mitch Canham up there, Vancouver, Washington as well. Mark Canham does our shirts for Clubhouse Chatter, and we stream live. YamhillToday.com.
YamHillToday.com. Is that like a paper?
It is a paper.
Was it around back when I was running around here? I graduated high school in 1978.
Holy cow!
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I wonder if I was ever in that paper.
Absolutely.
I bet it was for an unsolved crime.
So Nelly, we would like you to take us out with your best baseball announcer voice.
Okay, well, it's a fantastic day here in Norm's ballpark. Oh, and Brian's stepping up to the plate. You know, he hasn't had a hit in over 2 weeks. First pitch coming up. Oh, it's a fastball low and inside, and he lets that one go by. Here comes the next pitch. Oh, it's a high fastball. He lets that one go by. Okay, let's see what he can finally do to earn his keep. He's up at the bat. The pitcher's getting ready to deliver the hot sauce. Oh, here comes a hard ball right over the middle. Oh, look at that. Brian has tagged it. It's going, gone. And he's rounding first, eating a pretzel. Who would have expected it? His first home run in 19 years, and there he comes rounding home plate, and Norm's team wins the pennant for the first time ever. Oh, what a glorious day here at Norm's Baseball Park. How'd I do?
Once again, Nelson, awesome as always. Hey, we'll be back at 9:45. Thanks for watching.